everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Shannon Nelson, your Chief Advancement Officer at Legacy, and today I've got Bill Dyer, our Senior Director of Campus Operations with me, and we are going to talk to you a little bit about our operating modalities and the fact that we are reopening school in Level 3. And Mr. Dyer is going to answer some questions for us just to make sure that we're all clear and ready to go for the first day of school. So without further ado, Mr. Dyer, I've got just a few questions for you. First up, how do we determine our level of operation?
Well, the level of operation is determined internal to Legacy. That's our decision that is informed by various resources such as governmental edicts, the CDC, as well as county health department guidelines, and the recommendations of our Student and Community Health and Wellness Crisis Team, which includes our own Director of Health Services, Angie Detloff, as well as 2 medical doctor members from our school community.
Great. So recognizing that we're entering school at Level 3, can you just describe why we're entering school at Level 3?
I can. So out of an abundance of caution, we're starting school in an enhanced mode based on our most recent understanding of what's happening around us and the increase in cases in our area.
Great. Are there any schedule changes that we need to make our families aware of?
Daily school schedules shouldn't change. There's one exception, and that will be lower school Carline's is going to change a bit on the first day. Their times are being adjusted to accommodate those parents who wish to accompany their lower school student into the building for photo op or whatever else. They accompany their child to the classroom door. Information about that adjusted schedule will be communicated by the lower school division leaders.
Excellent. So in terms of facility use, are there any opportunities for large gatherings, specifically for some parent groups on campus? And if not, what sort of outdoor options are available?
Yes, so being in Level 3, we do not feel comfortable with any large gatherings indoors, but we do believe that we can still have some gatherings out on our football field with masks in place and distancing being observed. We really want to allow the Boohoo Yahoo and Dad's Boot Camp events to take place, and we do feel comfortable that we can do that in an outdoor environment and still keep everyone safe.
Right. So describe a little bit about the physical distancing standards that we have in place.
So our goal is to maintain appropriate distancing wherever possible. So we're going to consistently remind students, guests, and even our own staff members of the need to respect those physical distances. We're also going to have signs throughout campus reminding all our community members of their responsibilities to that and any other COVID behaviors that they need to follow during Level 3 or even Level 2 in those instances.
Great. All right, so let's talk face coverings. What can we do? What can we not do? What are the requirements?
This is a very popular subject. So, as was mentioned in an earlier town hall today, plastic face shields are no longer considered an acceptable substitute for the cloth face coverings at this time. So what is acceptable are the standard cloth masks, buffs, gaiters, as well as the disposable and standard medical type masks that many people have. So those are still allowed. Keep in mind too that irregardless of age, moving into first day of school, our lower school students will not be required to wear masks in the classrooms or outside the classrooms. Now, masks can be worn in any setting if particular families prefer that their students wear masks. That is a family preference that we will honor. And as far as the types of decor or themes, masks or buffs, they need to be single or multicolor with nondescript writing, pictures, or logos. Also, LCA issued or LCA spirit masks can be worn on any day, and college spirit masks can also be worn on any day.
Awesome. So let's talk about chapel a little bit. What will chapel look like as we re-enter school?
Well, understandably, we're not going to be able to conduct chapels in the same way this year. The divisions are planning to try to break their student bodies into smaller groups so that we can do limited in-person chapel opportunities when possible. We'll be doing live streaming and recorded chapel services for in-class viewing as well as at-home viewing for those that might be in at-home distance learning.
Great. So let's talk about everyone's favorite meal of the day, lunch. What does lunch look like on campus? Where do they eat? How can the kiddos eat? Just give us an overview of lunch.
Yes, so lunch at South Campus will be delivered and eaten in the classrooms. To accommodate that, if parents aren't going to send lunch with their child, then they're going to need to open up a My Kids Spending account and pre-order the meals in advance. The instructions, menus, and links to the online ordering can be found on the Legacy website under the Parents tab. Upper and middle school students will have access to microwaves for heating their meals. Lower school students will not have access to microwaves. Upper school students will still be able to come down to the cafe to purchase their meals, but then return to their classrooms to eat.
Excellent. So in terms of cleaning and sanitization, what does that process look like in level 3?
Well, our standards of cleaning and sanitization are already high, and so there's really very little difference between level 2 and level 3 for us. I want to assure the families they can have confidence that we're maintaining a clean and sanitized an environment as we possibly can.
So let's talk about temperature checks. Where will they take place? How do they happen?
Well, all students, staff, and visitors will have their temperatures taken when they first arrive on campus each day. Now, it's our preference that this temperature check on campus would be a secondary check. In other words, parents, whenever possible, you should check your own child's temperature before leaving for school to ensure that you know what to expect, that you don't arrive and find out your child cannot enter the school. It is our goal that you're not surprised by a temperature check on campus. For those who drive themselves, those checks will take place prior to entry into the building. For those who are driven to school, those checks will be taking place in the car before they exit the car.
Speaking of cars, how will Carline work, and will it differ from last year?
Well, Carline routes won't change from last year. The only real change is going to be to that routine of checking temperatures on the students before they enter the school. So now the Carline times and the route maps, especially for the new families, those will be provided by your division leaders prior to the start of school. So keep an eye out for those. Those should be coming your way hopefully soon.
Great. And now let's talk about volunteers and visitors on campus. Are they allowed on campus? And if so, what type of health screening will they undergo?
Yes, so it is our intention to continue to allow our parents to volunteer on campus. The expectation is that both visitors and volunteers will undergo the same temperature check and will follow the same mask requirements as everybody else on campus. More information about volunteering opportunities and procedures will be shared very soon. And if you have any questions about volunteering your time, we'd love to have you reach out to our Parent Teachers Fellowship group at ptf@legacyca.com to see what opportunities there may be. Visitor access to campus is going to depend on the modality we're in. So there may be some additional restrictions or limitations imposed. For example, under level 3, a majority of the visitors will not be granted access. So for example, this would preclude coming on campus to have lunch with a student or to bring food to a classroom.
Great, well, wonderful. Well, Mr. Dyer, I think you've answered the majority of those questions that we've been receiving regularly. We hope that this is a helpful video for our families as they prepare to come back to school next week. I'm sure that you share my sentiment that we can't wait to have everybody back. And we look forward to connecting with you all soon. So thank you, Mr. Dyer, for your time. And thank you to our Legacy community. We'll see you soon.